Hello everyone, this is Nicholas again. Welcome to another episode of Next Money Talk. Buying a house is an American dream for most people, if not all. However, buying a house in a metropolitan city like Los Angeles is out of reach for a lot of people. Even for those who save enough money for it, buying a house is still one of the biggest decisions in life. Today we are honored to have Travis again to tell us a little bit more about home purchase. For those who don't know Travis, he is a highly experienced IP attorney in Los Angeles. Travis, thank you again for doing another interview. I know that you recently bought a house. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit more about this house that you bought?
Sure. So, like you said, home purchase is a big ticket item, and it can be one of the biggest expenses you will ever incur. So one approaches this whole process with a lot of trepidation, and especially in Southern California, where home houses are 3 or 4 times the national average, you have to be extremely circumspect about what house you buy, where it is located. So there are a lot of factors to consider and to balance. So before buying this house, I had been looking around for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I was kind of paralyzed by just the sheer number of factors to consider. And each time I visited a new house, I found something I didn't like. And then I would abandon hope and move on to the next house. And then I realized there's always something wrong with a house. So you really have to rearrange your priorities and be prepared to compromise on some things, because there's never a perfect house, just like there's never going to be a perfect woman, all right? So you have to pick your battles. You can't fight them all. But there are a few things that you should not compromise on, and one is location. So a lot of people will not spend their whole lives in the same house. So you move into one house, you live there for a few years, and then because of a variety of reasons, family or job, you move to another house. So you want to ensure, to the extent possible, that whatever house you buy has good resale value. Okay? And one of the biggest factors governing resale value is the location of the house. You know the old adage, location, location, location. So that has always been my first point of consideration. So if the surrounding neighborhood is good and it's in a good school district, and you have parks and other things nearby, so those are good signs. So the next step is to look at the house itself. Is it on a nice street? Is the street too steep? Like personally, I don't like streets that are too steep, where it's uncomfortable to park. Or if you live somewhere where the streets are so narrow, it's difficult for your guests to park. Or if the house is located at a T-section where another street runs just short of the house and stops at its front door. So that, a lot of Asians don't like that, because that's bad feng shui. You don't want to live at the intersection of a T-junction. Is it a corner lot? Some people like corner lots because they are slightly bigger than neighboring houses. Is there a busy street in front of or behind your house? For me, personally, I like I like quiet when I am in my home, because I deal with a lot of things at work, and frankly sometimes those things are adversarial, because that's the nature of legal work. So when I go home, I enjoy and seek out peace and quiet. So if I live next to a busy street, that's going to defeat, that particular goal of mine. So a lot of things to consider, and they all have to do with the location of the house. So you want to do your homework. You want to perform due diligence when it comes to location, and make sure the location serves your needs, whether it's close to a park, because I like to take walks at night and on weekends, or if you want to be within walking distance of a shopping center, then you should look out for things like that. So the house I just purchased, it is not close to a shopping center. In fact, it's about 10 minutes away from the nearest supermarket. For some people, that's a deal breaker, but for me, I would rather have the peace and quiet than be close to a shopping center. So there are gives and takes, and you have to strike compromises.
So housing price in Los Angeles has been steadily increasing for almost a decade since 2009. So many people said that we are overdue for a recession. So why buying a house now, and are you concerned?
Yes, we are overdue for a correction in the housing market. And if I had a choice, I would not buy a house now. But sometimes these things you're not fully in control of. My friend put it best. The best time to buy a house is when you need it. You can always try to game the market, but sometimes if you need to live in a house, if you have a family to take care of, waiting is not an option. And for me, I believe that in the Southern California area, house value will always increase. So buying a house at the peak, at the historic peak of the housing bubble, obviously is not good. But I believe after it dips below the current price, it will come back and then exceed the current price. So if you take a long view, I think 20 years from now, 30 years from now, this house will be worth more than it is currently worth. Just simply because of the laws of supply and demand. More and more people moving to California. In fact, I think LA County, or maybe just the LA metropolitan area, is projected to grow by another 3 million people in the next 30 years. So, and especially this is a nice area, it's got good schools, it has parks nearby within walking distance, so I think the location will appeal to future home buyers.
So what do you love about this new house you bought most?
Well, I think this new house checks a lot of boxes that I was looking for. So it's in a good neighborhood, it's on a level street, it doesn't have much of an angle to it, a slope to it. And it's got a pretty good view, you see mountains in the distance. The neighborhood is quiet, and also it's a new house. So everything is brand spanking new when you move in, and everything is under warranty. So there is a peace of mind when you move in. And the overall design of the house is very pleasing to the ear. Very pleasing to the eye. And it's got 2 stories. A lot of houses in California are ranch houses, so they only have 1 story. I prefer 2 stories because it offers more privacy when you have visitors over. And so, generally speaking, I guess there aren't as many bad things about the house that tick me off. You know, so the balance tips favorably. So I think generally speaking, I'm pleased with the location and the appearance. I'm not pleased by the state of the market, and also the fact that this house is in a fire zone. But it's hard to get away from a fire zone living in LA, because just we're in the middle of a historic drought. You know, this is the driest. We're in the driest time for Southern California in 500 years. So you're gonna have fires. So that's just something you can't get away from. Just like earthquakes, the certainty, the likelihood of 8.0 or above earthquake in Southern California in the next 30 years is almost 100%. Okay, so that's just something you have to live with, and something you have to you have to admit, and because that's a reality we all face. So, and if something is outside of your control, there's no use worrying about it.
So you've been living in LA for quite a while, and apparently you are very familiar with LA. I know that you have a YouTube channel about LA, so can you tell us a little bit more about that channel?
I'm glad you raised that. Yes, I do have a channel all about the all aspects you can ever think of regarding LA. Everything you wanted to know about LA but were afraid to ask. So I've been in LA for about 5 years now, and I like to explore whenever I have the opportunity. So this channel is about places I eat, places I go hiking, and then soon I will have a series about buying houses, and also I will follow the progress of my house as it is built from the ground up. So if you want to know about what it is like living in LA, eating out in LA, recreationally, playing and hiking, whatever strikes your fancy about LA, you might be able to find it in this channel. So come by, take a peek, and then if you have any specific requests about places and things to do in LA, hey, let me know, drop a line in the comments, and I'll take you up on it.
If you want to check out Trevor's YouTube channel, please click at the link in the description part. Trevor, thank you so much for doing this interview. So one last thing, can you take us for a house tour?
Yeah, sure. Of course, my house has not been built yet. It's completely new, and right now it's a dirt track. But I will take you on a tour of the model homes. They have all 4 styles here. And alright, well, let's go.